Alright, we already understand what classifiers are and why they're so important. So, how many classifiers are there roughly? 9. Which ones? The ones you see here on the screen. We'll explain them, but covering all of them will be take too long. In this video, we'll go over 4, and in the next one, we'll cover the other 5. So, just 4 this time. The first one, what is it? Descriptive classifiers. They are used to describe an object or element. It could be clothing or any other item. Let's look at some examples.
The blue and white striped shirt. The white shirt with black flowers.
Alright, did you notice? It can also be applied to texture, for example, the texture of clothing. It might be soft or maybe a bit rough. There are different ways to describe an object. That's the first classifiers we'll look at. Now let's move to the second. Entity classifiers. For instance, when I point to a person or to someone walking, it can also be a car or something smaller than a car. How does it work? Let's take an example. Imagine you make the sign for a person and then move your finger forward, showing that they're walking. That's an entity classifier. Another example, I make the sign for driving, then use my palm to show the vehicle. Or the motorcycle classifier with a finger. Or a deer, moving my hand to show it running. That movement represents the entity. Great. But we need to be careful because deaf culture varies depending on the country. For example, in the United States, if you are driving right, you make the driving sign using 3 fingers to represent the vehicle. But here in Albania, that doesn't work at all. Thus, 3 fingers don't make sense. Here, when I use the driving classifiers, I use the palm to show moving forward. Another example. In my country, Chile, when I refer to a person, I don't necessarily use the walking sign, but this movement instead. However, for an Albanian deaf person, that same movement looks more like an animal. Their way of thinking is different. So, depending on the country and culture, the correct classifiers changes. Here in Albania, I don't just pick one at random. I take on from another culture, compare it, and if it fits in the Albanian context, then perfect, I can use it. That's an important point. So we've covered the second classifier. Now let's go to the third. Locative or positional classifiers. When we use a language, we work with a space, like we explained earlier, divided into different areas. With one or both hands, I can place an object to my right, in front of me, to the left, or above. Let's see some examples.
The cup is on the left side of the table. The cup is on the right side of the table.
Did you catch that? I can place the cup on the right, on the left, or in the center. If I want to show a mountain, I can place the object or the person at the top or at the bottom of the mountain. It depends on what I choose. So now we have the third classifiers. Let's move on the fourth. Classifiers of quantity or plurality. For example, Earlier, with entity classifier, we showed one person. But what if there are many more? That's another case. It could be two or more. For vehicles, if I want to show there are several, I repeat the hand movement. To indicate traffic, I use the sign to show many cars behind me. For animals, I can show a large group moving forward. For birds, the same, a big flock in motion. Or if a group of people want to attack someone and they rush toward him, just one sign shows it's not one, but many. This type of classifier helped me communicate much more clearly.